You folks have an owl camera.
Yeah.
Coming out and we will, we are meeting here shortly. Can everybody hear me on the screen?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And so we usually start our meeting by acknowledging the territory that we're in. This territory is the customary and traditional land of the Muskego It's time immemorial. We acknowledge the sacred land in which the town of Moosonee operates. Within the lands protected by the James Bay Treaty number 9. We are grateful to have the opportunity to make decisions at this table that will impact our community, language. With that, I will ask Boblin to do a preamble, please.
For the transparency, I'd like to remind all participants and attendees that this meeting is being recorded in accordance with our municipality procedures. In the event of emergency, please exit quietly this room and use the main door.
Thank you. So we will open the meeting with a resolution. Resolution 2026-014. Be resolved that this regular council meeting come to order at 00 p.m. President Mayor Typla, Councilor Ryder, Councilor Hunter, Councilor McAfee. Councilor Tozer is out of town, so he is notified.
Sorry.
All right, so could I have a mover to open the meeting, please? Fabian McAfee moves it, and I have a seconder. Susan Hunter seconds it. Are there any questions on opening the meeting? If not, all in favor. Opposed, carried. Okay, we will go to review of the agenda, please, Baldwin.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-042, be it resolved that the agenda be accepted as presented / amended.
Have a mover for this, please. Diane Ryder moves it, seconder. Fabian McAfee seconds it. Are there any changes to the agenda? We will accept it as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor. Opposed, carried. We shut the phone. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Are there any pecuniary interest to disclose? You don't see anyone indicating any, so any time during the meeting, if you see one that you have missed, please feel free to do so. We'll move right into number 4, adoption of the minutes.
Go ahead.
Okay, we'll move to number 4, adoption of the minutes, please, Bob.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-043, be it resolved that the council of the corporation of the town of Moosonee adopt the minutes of the special meeting number 3, 2026 of February 10, 2026, and regular meeting number 4, 2026 of February 10, 2026 is presented / amended.
They have a mover for this resolution. Susan Hunter moves it, seconder. Fabian McAfee. Fabian McAfee seconds it. Are there any changes to the minutes? You all had a copy of them? I don't see any, so we'll accept them as presented. Any further discussion? Not all in favor. Opposed, carried. Carried. Okay. So we will go down to presentation and delegation and the draft of the 360 vision plan and leadership and being patient. And again, we try to keep within 15 minutes, but if we have to go over with the questions, you guys actually have the full 15 minutes and our questions are additional. Just to let you know, I just didn't make that quite clear last time. All right. So with that, we will, well, thank you for coming out and we will turn it over to you. And we have your presentation in front of us here as well. Yeah,
And we have a copy we can share. Did you want us to share a screen with the copy?
yeah, if you would, I think that helps.
Sure thing. Reed, do you want to go ahead and start introducing yourself while I'm sharing the screen here?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council and staff. My name is Farid Amin. I've been with Phelps for about 5 years. But before that, I spent about 30 years in as a public servant. I spent 25 years with the province of Ontario, served in a number of deputy ministers' positions, including at one point the deputy minister for municipal affairs and housing. I also serve as deputy city manager in Toronto and the CEO for Collingwood. So quite a bit of municipal experience, and I'm very pleased to be able to help the town of Moosonee find its next CAO as well as the next treasurer.
Okay, could you just take a break for a minute for the people in the audience? This is a firm that we're looking at, because we're looking at recruitment for our chief administrative officer and the treasurer for the town. And they're going to be helping us with what this presentation is about. So, yeah. All right, go ahead.
Excellent. And I can introduce myself. Thanks, Reed, on that. And good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. So my name is Jason Phelps. I'm a partner here at Phelps, and have been working with municipal governments for 25 years now, give or take, just over 25 years. Throughout that time, we've worked with obviously a broad mix right across the country, but of note, we've done a tremendous amount of work across northern and rural remote communities as well. I grew up in Thunder Bay, albeit a bit south of you folks, I guess about 980 clicks south of you, but certainly have an understanding from Northern Ontario. We also do a tremendous amount of work right up through Nunavut, Northwest Territories. We are the vendor for the government of Nunavut and have done all of their senior work for the last 15 years as well. So we as a firm are quite proud at our track record of attracting and retaining leaders in more northern, rural, remote communities as well. And we'll talk a bit about that as we go in the presentation. So nice to meet you all this evening. All right, let's jump in. Just maybe a nod. Can you see the presentation that I've got shared here? Okay, so we'll walk through. We've done some introductions already, just some shot of our team here as we brought them together, but Farid and I will be your key leads. Farid, do you want to jump in, or which slide do you want to take?
Yeah, I'll just speak very quickly to this slide. And Jason mentioned to it, I mean, part of our track record is that we've got an over 98% retention rate, which means that all of the executives that we have placed in positions stay at least more than 3 years. So we've got that long tenure associated with our search. Of course, part of our value proposition is to have repeat clients. And in this regard, we've got about 80% clients that continuously come back to us because of the success they have achieved using our services. We reach beyond Ontario. In fact, we reach beyond Canada, but we've got offices in Calgary and Montreal, obviously in Toronto and Thunder Bay. But we also have an international partner called Panorama. So if there is a need for us to go outside of Canada to look for executives, we can do so as well. I don't think in this case we would need to, but that option does exist for us, for our client. Jason mentioned that part of our expertise is in municipal leadership search, and we've sourced and successfully landed a number of senior executives in North and far north, in the GTA and elsewhere. And we not only have the recruitment expertise in municipal government, but we also have someone who sat close to those senior positions. I mean, sitting as a deputy city manager and a CAO in a municipality does allow us to be able to be in your shoes and understand what skills you might be looking for in your next CAO. Part of our value proposition, again, is also we go beyond sort of the regular search. Equity, diversity, inclusion, indigeneity is very much a part of our practice. And in that regard, we do a fair bit of work for Indigenous organization. And I'll mention a few towards the end that we successfully recruited their CEO. So not only municipal expertise, but also Indigenous expertise in those organizations that are looking for leaders. We do adopt a very human-centric approach to our searches, and Jason and I will be in constant contact with you, Mr. Mayor, and the selection committee and the rest of the team. So we don't delegate the work we do to other staff. We get directly involved, and you will find that we are extremely available and visible if and when you need to interact with us. We've got a very proven track record of being successful in the public sector. Next slide, please. I'll let Jason speak to this slide in terms of the process that we'll go through.
Thanks, Fareed. And I'll keep this one short. I think we've got a second one that gives a little more depth on the process later on, but just on a high level, it kind of gives you a sense towards the critical path on our recruitments. So we do start off with a broad discovery and consultation phase. This is important for us to really develop that understanding. So we'd want to speak with, obviously, mayor and members of council. Often we like to speak to the senior leadership team. There could be some community consultation or other key stakeholders in the community, so we can discuss what the consultation looks like. But that's a pretty core piece for us to develop our knowledge, how we're positioning the opportunities, really getting the insight from a broad mix of folks around the positions as well. And this also feeds in to become the foundation of our search. So I've mentioned how it's how we position the opportunities to candidates, but it also feeds into how we're developing screening criteria for the selection committee and the core requirements that the selection committee can use to be able to assess candidates as you go through the process as well. So that's the upfront piece that, coming out of tonight, obviously that would be the piece we'd want to get started on. As we develop that, we develop postings as well that would complement our outreach efforts. And then we really start that second piece there, the candidate outreach. So this is where advertisements would go out. We draft those, get them approved by you folks, of course. And then we'd select a few key sites that we think are appropriate. But the big part of the outreach is our direct recruitment. So we have a full research team in-house, and we actually are directly approaching individuals that meet that criteria, fit that profile that we have developed in the initial phase. And we're really helping them understand the opportunity, helping them understand the community and the services and resources in the community as well. And then piquing their interest is our goal. And so we come through that piece. We also go through our own assessment process with candidates at that stage. So Fareed and I are assessing candidates. We're shortlisting, narrowing that pool of candidates down. So then we come back to that next phase you see there, that long list discussion. This is sort of the next big step for the selection committee as well. We narrow our pool of candidates down to a reasonable number, usually in the neighborhood of anywhere from 6, 8 to maybe 10 or 12 on the high end, just depending on how specialized the projects are. And then we share, of course, background information, but then we walk through each candidate with the committee. And we help you understand what we've learned. If we have any concerns, of course, we raise those on the candidates at that time as well. We've assessed candidates on, compensation, relocation, all of those core factors before we get to this point as well. And so we go through that process with the committee. The selection committee, your selection committee would choose, of course, who you'd like to move forward to interviews with. And then Fareed and I are participating in that whole process as well. So the interviews, we can get into any type of leadership assessments. We're developing draft questions to help the committee in that process as well, around screening criteria. And we're facilitating that process to help the committee get to a decision. So typically 2 rounds of interviews through that process. But again, that can be tailored based on the needs of your community. And then we get into the offer negotiation, the reference checks. We run full 360 reference checks on our preferred candidate. We're running full background checks as well on that preferred candidate, everything from criminal checks to education verification and social media scrubs nowadays. And then right into we're working with your team around the onboarding plan, what that looks like, how to provide support for individuals coming on, and the transition into the roles as well. Let Fareed talk about the outreach a little bit here.
Yeah, so very, very quickly, I'm cognizant of time. We do a massive outreach strategy. As Jason said, we use the traditional tools, advertisement, looking at selective site, but we also do direct outreach. We identify potential candidates who might be interested in this role. As you can imagine, we've got a strong foundation because of the searches that we have done of candidates who we've interviewed before and who might be interested in this. We go beyond the municipal sector. We will look at the broader public service, including post-secondary, municipal government, of course, and municipal government agencies. We look at the provincial government. We look at healthcare sector. And we also look at other social services and not-for-profit organization. What we're looking for here is critical skills. And these skills, of course, will be identified working with you. And then we look at individuals, even if they are not from the municipal sector, can they bring the kind of skills that you're looking for for example, your treasurer, you need some critical financial skills, who might have those skills coming from a sector that's outside of the municipal world. So we do much more of a broader search than simply restricting ourselves to ensure that we're optimizing the candidates that we bring before you.
And I would say we don't have it on this sheet, but the last several years, we've had some good success recruiting for private sector as well into municipal governments. Tougher role the CAO to step into if you haven't had any exposure in that aspect around the governance, understanding, and aspects like that. But certainly areas we could talk about as we go through. But have had some good success, and particularly in some of the northern communities we've worked with. I won't go into this one again, just on, oh, I'm sorry, let me go to Freed first on equity, diversity, inclusion.
Yeah,
Freed, anything else on this?
I wouldn't spend too much time on this, except to say this is one of our strengths. Because we've done so much work with the diverse community, we also use non-traditional advertising means to reach out to groups that may not normally get access to some of these opportunities. And we would, of course, assess those candidates based on the skills that you would have articulated and bring those candidates before you. So this outreach goes beyond the tradition. We also do a fair bit of work with the selection committee on anti-bias training, just to make sure that selection committee, when they're going into the selection and interview process, are very, very cognizant of any unconscious bias that they might have and trying to minimize that as best as they can, so that we're treating each candidate in a similar way, in a way that is equitable, and also ensuring that the assessment that we conduct after the interviews are free of any personal or conscious biases.
And I won't go into this more. This is just to give you a little more detailed overview of that critical path I spoke about. I think we've included this in the proposal as well, but you can see each of those phases in a little more detail there. So again, we can answer questions, but I won't go into that more detail at this point. And then the last couple slides, just to give you some sense of some of the experience. I'm noticing we're missing some.
Yeah, the north, yeah.
Some of the northern communities here as well. So, City of Thunder Bay, for instance, their current CAO came through our recruitment processes. Not too long ago, we did the City of Iqaluit up in Nunavut and put their CAO in as well. Municipality of Wawa, we've come through that. So a fair amount across the north, and apologies we didn't include some of those organizations here. And then I'd say, just to Freed's earlier point as well, and I'll let Freed expand on some of this, but a fair amount of work across with Indigenous organizations, and that's First Nation organizations, Métis organizations, and Inuit organizations right across the north. But Freed, you want to expand?
Yeah, no, I think this slide speaks for itself. We do a diverse set of work. I mean, Dilico is one that I did, and Fort William First Nation, as well as the Anishinaabe police in St. Joseph Island. So our experience in the north, as Jason said, in Ontario and elsewhere, I think speaks for itself. And we would bring that sort of breadth of experience and outreach to this opportunity as well. And just for what it's worth, I mean, I sort of cut my teeth in the north. When I started off with the province of Ontario in 1986, I had the far north. Rainy River and Algoma were part of my districts that I did land use planning in. So I do have a lot of familiarity and direct experience working in Northern Ontario. Was also the director of Northern Development and Mines. So we bring all of that experience, our sort of senior level experience, leadership experience, and our recruiting experience to this competition, and hopefully we'll find the optimal candidates to run your municipality.
So, Mr. Mayor, we'll stop there and open it up if you've got some questions.
All right, thank you very much. I guess we will start with Councilor Ryder.
Just a couple of questions, I guess. One of them is on your timeline that you have here. You're looking at possibly around the end of April as a point in time for an offer. Is that, do you find in the last, I guess, a little while as you've been recruiting in that in other areas, is it pretty accurate that you would have somebody that would be ready for the end of April? Or do you usually have to go back out several times? I just know that the last time we were looking for a CAO was 2 years ago. And it took almost 2 years to even get somebody in that position. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, is that, are you still finding that a real delay in trying to fill positions?
It's a great question. And it's a mix out there right now. I mean, these timelines are pretty accurate for our search process. I think we've got this starting Feb 18th, so we back it up a little bit just to account for that. But typically, just on a high level, we like to be out to market for about 5 to 6 weeks on our northern recruitments. So that gives us enough time to really scour the market, have those conversations, conduct our outreach. And then at the end of that sort of 6 week period is where we're usually in a position to be able to present the long list and get into the selection process for the committee as well. The committee selection process typically, depending on how quickly we can coordinate interviews and that process, but anywhere from a couple weeks to 3 or 4 weeks, if it's obviously longer to get all those schedules. But we try to lock dates in pretty early in the process. As far as going back out, it does happen on occasion. We don't do it that often. I will say we usually on our first go exhaust the market pretty well. So our typical outreach ranges anywhere from, on the low end, we reach out to say 150 individuals. Some of the high end northern recruitments, we've been upwards of 500, 700 or more. We did all the Northern Ontario School of Medicine recruitments for well over a decade. And there were some of those recruitments, I will say, that went global to find the right skill set and physicians that had the rural remote component. That, yes, we were reaching out to 500, 600, 700 candidates at times just to get the right pool. So we've got a pretty good scope of how to get the outreach out pretty quickly and how to really zero in on the right individuals that we want to be approaching. So yeah, the 2 month timeline to be at sort of offer stage is generally pretty much in check.
And so my second question is that, there's comes at sometimes a time where we need to put somebody in temporarily while we're looking. Is that a service that you also provide?
We do. Yeah, we do. Yeah. Yeah, and we've done that several times as well, because it could be, if it's going to be 3 or 4 months or whatever it might take. There's definitely individuals and leaders that maybe have recently retired or have the right skill set, or been CAOs to Freed's point earlier, that would be interested in stepping in for a short period as well. So yes, we certainly can help with that type of service as well.
Thank you. That's all my questions.
Councilor Nackergy, any questions? Councilor Hunter?
One of the questions I had, Diane had asked into it, was about that interim component. Then the other, I had a question about the timeline. I noticed it for like February 18th, it says like the roles or responsibilities and the input. Does that mean that council had input to what we were expecting, or was that, I might have missed it because I missed a meeting, but I was just wondering if that is something that we've already done.
No.
No? Okay.
No, as Jason said, we need to back up a little bit, because I think we're about a week or so behind. Part of our next step would be to engage with individual members of council based on your advice, and also some members of the leadership team, to get a better sense of the kind of individuals you're looking for. So we would sort of do some what we call consultation with people who are familiar with the position, to talk a bit about the skills and attributes you're looking for, but also what are some of the challenges and opportunities that you would be faced with, or this individual would be faced with, as they transition into this role. So that step is yet to be carried out, Councillor. We will try and sort it out in the next week or so. So we have time with each one of you to go through that interview process before we finalize the job description and obviously before we go to market.
Thank you, yeah, because that was one of the concerns I had, right, was because often we'll get somebody in and then you'll find that they work. I was really glad to hear that part. It's actually kind of a comment too, is I was really glad to hear about the rural remote component, like get to know, like Moosonee can be a shock to some people. You hear all the things and then you actually move up here and then they're like, whoa, I can't, leave.
Yeah.
I have to be here. So I just wanted to comment that was really, I thought that was something that was really important, and I was glad to just hear that in there.
Yeah, and we certainly get that, right? It's a different recruitment approach, different screening assessment to make sure motivations and interests of candidates align with the move as well, and that there's a keen interest there. So yeah, we always look for some of those factors, right? Do they have more rural remote in their background? Do they have some connection to the north in some way? Are there different aspects that will pull them and keep them there as well? So we do get into all of that, and I think the firm started in Thunder Bay. Actually 40 years ago this year. And so we've always had that piece and that angle around what are those attraction features and what keeps people in communities in the north.
Great, thank you. I have just a couple. Susan actually took some of them away from me. But my question was going to be, are you going to like interview like the mayor, because he really works with the CAO. So I was wondering on that, because we hadn't even spoke yet before you go out and look at the timeline. All right, so it's good that you're meeting with everybody that way. And again, I was just wondering on your process. What we've done in the past, and I seem to work quite well here, is they make a long list. You guys would make a long list, send it up to us with the candidates. We would go over it. Suggest, make a short list, and then from the short list, go back to you, and then with your recommendation of even a shorter list, I guess, we would bring them up and interview them right here as well. And tour of Moosonee, and I hope that's the process that we follow again. All right.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's important to get them into the community and show them the community as well. We've done that actually. The Red Lake Hospital, we've put their CEO in a couple times over the last 15 or 12 years, I guess it is now. And that was an important part. We actually schedule a few days for candidates to spend time in the community, get tours of the community, really get to know some of the folks in the community and get comfortable with the community as well. And we do the same with all of our recruitments across Nunavut as well.
All right, that sounds good. And if the only other thing I have a question for is, has any of you guys or your members ever visited Moosonee? And I think you probably spoke with our CAO right now and our staff, but we are so unique because there's other obligations and things that the CAO has to be on in this community that you don't in the other community.
Yeah.
I have not. Fareed, have you been to Moosonee yet?
I've been to Moosonee, but that's the 1986 Series 7. So it was Moosonee then. I'm sure you've got lots more growth since then, but yeah, it's been what's that, 30 years?
Great. Well, thank you.
Actually, more like 40 years.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Working with you guys, and
appreciate it. Thanks.
And Mr. Mayor, I'll say we're happy to come as well. I think that's one of the pieces of our firm is we've traveled through the north a lot. We go to the communities. All the work we do, again, I'll reference Nunavut up north, but we're into Iqaluit several times a year. We're up to Baker Lake, Cambridge Bay. I mean, we're flying right across the north as well. So we're certainly not folks that are shy of northern communities, and always very comfortable as well. If that's a part that brings comfort through the process.
And Mr. Mayor, just one final question before we go. We would want to develop that consultation list with members of council, senior staff, and perhaps members of the community. I know Victoria and I had a conversation before. I'm not sure who would be the point person to work with to sort of finalize that list. Obviously, will be members of council, but outside of that, if there's any community members that we need to speak to as we develop the job description and the opportunity brief, if you can identify someone for us to work with in that respect, that'd be great.
And I noticed
Yeah.
that Winnebago provides health services there. So again, sometimes we'll look at some of those external stakeholders if there's a value in getting some input from some of those folks, school boards, or I think you've got Northern College has a campus there, Winnebago on the health services side. So again, we're open for conversations with leaders from some of those other key partner organizations if there's a value in that.
All right, I think that would, actually, again, come with, council when you interview, the mayor and council for that suggestions.
Excellent. Yeah, so we can bring that question up with each council member to see if there's anyone else that we should have a conversation with.
And, another thing I would warn though is, I think it should be discussed, with the council, like, too, in the beginning, but you can get somebody that's very negative against the council or something too, and name put out or stuff, so I think that would have to come to a full council to see if you,
Yeah. For sure. Thank you.
give.
All right.
Yeah, that's it, thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Take care.
Thanks,
Okay,
everyone.
bye-bye.
We look forward to working with you. We'll be in touch soon.
What's the memos? Briefing, about the, price pump, you have it in front of you, but. Thanks, Dan.
Good night.
We could, discuss with Victoria last week. It's something that I think is very important for us to have, okay? Due to, sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't read for the motion. Okay.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-044, be it resolved that the council of the corporation of the town of Moosonee to approve the purchase of a used 6-inch trash pump and accessories from Battlefield Equipment Rentals for a total cost of 27,383 plus shipping.
So I need a mover. Seconder, yeah. All right, so we'll go back on and then we'll vote on it. So we all had the information last meeting. Something that's very important, I think we should act on it and get it as soon as we can due to all the snow and the flooding possibilities. If we wait any longer, what's going to happen is there's not going to be any available because we're not the only ones getting prepared for high water this year. So, any questions, Councilor Nackers? Questions here? Susan?
Don't think I had any questions. I mean, I know there's only one. Usually we have more than one, but there's only one. I don't know. It's fine. I was just thinking
We have
about,
smaller pumps.
yeah,
This would be the main one for the main lift stations or,
this for the extra.
for the,
Okay, that's fine, yeah. Want to be sure I understood what we were purchasing.
Councilor Ryder.
Yeah, I don't have any questions.
All right, and, again, my question would be to Shelley, funding.
It would be at a very, capital reserves.
Oh, okay. All right, so, no further questions, all in favor? Wait, Karen. There, right at the bottom, it says motion, I never even looked at that. And briefing notes for water no sewer. That's the, I will put motion on the table.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-045, be it resolved that the council of the corporation of the town of Moosonee to approve the use of the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund and access or loan from Infrastructure Ontario to fund the replacement of the wastewater system on Robin Road and 5th Street as part of the water distribution replacement and road reinstatement, which is covered by Greenstream 2 funding.
All right, can I have a mover for this motion? Fabian, seconder. All right, just a little bit of, update in case people don't, realize or remember much about this. We have funding in place in our portion for doing the water down Wobbin Road, from Fifth Street to Wobbin. That's gonna be going out, for replacement this summer. While they have the whole, the road open and all dug up, we had looked at and talked about doing, sewer, sanitary sewer as well, because they're having a lot of problems on that. Also, we had talked about earlier this year of doing Fifth Street, even if we didn't do one, but do Fifth Street, as you see, they're there almost every week. There's sewer problems there. Now, the cost that we have received, 1.4 million, something like that, I don't have the exact number, to put the sewer line in. We do not have any government funding in place for that, but we do have funding available to us. We have the loan of 750,000 or 700,000, don't, I can't be into the dollar. We have the federal gas tax, we have the loan that we got, the loan with the funding, special funding, what is it, we have a chance to.
She has it for our loan of the 750,000 that we have received. And then the OSEF grant money, the OCIF, that we have 900,000 in. So that money's there, we haven't spent it. So that's a grant that we had before, just around COVID. We never obviously used it during COVID or anything, so it's been just accumulating. We spent a little bit of it last year because we had to, because once you get 5 years, you have to spend what you got the first year and then the next year the same amount for each one. So we did spend, I think, around 3 last year with the road maintenance and maybe the gravel and different things we put on the road. So there is still 900 in there.
So we will not, we have the money, but it's our cost. We're not getting any government funding for that. There's government funding for the water, to dig up the water, put the water line right down there and the connections. But we will be funding this sewer all on our own. But it's going to save us money in the long run because you're digging up Wobbin Road, you're digging up Fifth Street, and it's sort of blocking, and there is problems on them. I think this is what being asked about, how to in favor of spending that money to put an RFP out for sewer part of Wobbin Road at the same time.
I know we had conversations about digging up for replacing the water lines or sewer lines.
Water line.
And then we were talking about, it's difficult because we'd have to dig it up again to do sewer lines. So now we're talking about,
Well, it's dug up.
To do it
a new
all at
sewer.
once.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We would.
I just want to be sure, I just want to be clear that I'm hearing
Yeah.
and understanding, but yeah, okay, no, I just
With the funding that
do
we
it at
have,
the same time.
yeah, the funding that we have, we can only do the water line,
Yeah,
dig up the road, do the water line, fill it all back in. It's going to be cheaper if we can do it.
Yeah.
Both at the same time. Also, that road is not torn up twice.
yeah. Absolutely.
What is OCIF? What is that?
Yeah.
And it only can be used for infrastructure.
It's something like this.
And so when we do the, Fifth Street and Wobbin, we can, with those projects, is it allowed to do a capping on those roads or to do, but they go back in the way they are, right?
Yeah, up to the same standard that they are right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that would probably be included in the first grant, the grant money you
And the
got
water.
for the water.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just us during the sewer. There's also a major issue in that area for the sewer too, because it's a dip.
Yeah.
Mulling for
Of course,
some.
the guys are out there twice last week again.
Yeah.
You did look at, the February, you gave me an estimate one time. And then just within the summer, we spent almost $6,000 just on our staff wages and our overtime to keep working on that. That's just Fifth Street, sorry.
Mhm.
We did the same thing on Gardner Road. If the water line won't get that, we pay for it ourselves, but it saves us money in the long run. Any other questions, Dan?
No, I don't have any other questions.
Stevie?
With it being a loan, I mean, I guess safe to take on a loan?
We already have the loan.
Oh,
This is a loan that we already secured, but we hadn't used it yet, so we already have the money.
okay.
We have all that money sitting there.
We thought we might have to use it on Bay Road. That's why we took it out, but Bay Road is not going to be. Susan, what?
No,
All right, no further questions, we'll put the motion on the floor. All in favor? Both carried. No,
So big expensive.
that's for expenses.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-046, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Moosonee approves the statement of expenses for elected officials for the period of January 1st to December 31st, 2020.
Have a mover, please. Susan Sector, Diane. All right. Statement of expenses for elected officials 2025. Councilor, Mayor Wayne Typla. Annual salary was $6,097.44. My travel expense was $5,184.88. Councilor Carmen Tozer, $4,458.36. Travel expense $1,395.10. Councilor Seaman, Nacogee, $4,458.36 for a salary, zero travel. Councilor Susan Hunter, salary $4,458.36. Travel expense $5,765.46. Councilor Diane Ryder, annual salary $4,558.36. Her travel expense was $835. The total annual salary for council was $23,930.88. Travel expense for council was $13,480.44. Any discussion on this? The difference in the travel expenses is without the conferences and travel, so that's why the difference is there. The other annual salary that is what is set. All right, so if there's no further discussion, we'll vote on it. All in favor? Opposed, carried. Last year, after we did this, I got a call from a concerned resident. He said this is wrong. We forgot the zeros in front of the first numbers.
oh, I didn't even know.
No, he said, no, we forgot that, was that right, you know?
That's not their mood, sure.
You're gonna be like 60,000 instead of 6,000, that's what they thought, so.
That was bad.
Temporary road closure. Temporary road closure.
Yeah.
Motion. Yeah, Resolution 2026 number 2026-047. Be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Moosonee to approve the temporary road closure as presented on March 7, 2026 to support the Matuan Winter Carnival.
All right, now a mover, please. Fabian, second. And. All right. You've all had a copy in your package and, another one, you want to post the road by the, community hall. Arena. Well, I'm just wondering, because that's where the truck traffic is hauling a lot of that stuff around.
Oh, they're going that way? For the snow?
Well, they do snow in the holiday, majority. You just have to stop for that.
You have to stop for that Saturday. Do they work on Saturday? Yeah, they do. Just came out of my mouth and I was like, oh wait, oh.
But they just want that road closed. I was wondering if it would be. I was looking at this thing, but I was wondering if it would be possible to go like you want to. Like behind the arena. You want to,
No.
because they just want that section like of the arena from pricing.
Yes, they just want the arena road and it's only for a while in the afternoon and she will also let the construction companies obviously know that that road will be closed during that time in advance and let them know, obviously, EMS and everybody else too that needs to know. But it's just for, I can't remember, so I think she said 2 to 3 hours in the afternoon, I think.
Yeah, I think
But
it
even
starts
though
at
it's-
11
Yeah,
and then it's done around like 3, like
Yeah,
8, 2 or 3.
If you're really, really set up and you run behind.
yeah. For most of the day, but it's so that they can keep everything in the parking lot. They've also asked, or someone has asked if for people parking, and even for the gym and stuff, that they can park it on our.
Oh.
Yeah, they've already asked the permission to do that, so they can park over there and then just walk.
That thing, that we do.
Very possible, but hopefully maybe that day can be to a minimum that they're.
I'm sure our staff have talked to them.
Yes.
Great. So, Council Rager, any?
No, I don't have any questions. I think for safety and, like I say, it's not like it's gonna be all day. It's gonna be a certain amount of time, so I think it's a good idea.
Davey?
Would we give a notice to Waha for the paramedics so they're.
Notify all of us.
Yeah, we have to notify all the emergency. What I guess. Susan?
No, I don't have any questions.
All in favor? Oh, carried.
So, to the other map that's there, that's just the parade route, it's not, that was anything, it's just a parade.
Okay, now the minute. I'll call to review, and no more things that one. Just, for you to review it. I've read it, there's quite a few changes in there. But again, I think, because this was done before, but council regular is that when there's changes that they could highlight them. But, again, this was done before. I have no, concerns about it. Council right or any concerns about
No, other than just, again, the changes, like, it's hard to kind of determine what was changed and what was original, and it's,
So,
Well,
that's what this should be.
yeah, so the very first one, if
Okay.
you see anything like what's bold, and like she put a line through what she's taking out, and anything that's bold is what she has as new.
Okay.
The other alcohol policy or the permission permit, this one, there's nothing crossed out of it because it was so old. Nothing really pertained into it, so this is completely new,
Okay.
so there isn't anything from the old one, because it was just like, old. Like this one is all the bold stuff that anything she has bold on, as she said.
So this is two different ones? Or this one's just an update?
This is the alcohol policy.
there's a new page and an old page, just find the old page.
Yeah. Ask about that.
So this is the old one?
Says
I thought
the
that's what
one,
she meant.
I thought this is the old one, and then she showed the changes on it. And then that's the.
This
new
is what she's created now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could, with although it looks very different, so I had to say, probably like, are they the same?
Mhm.
yeah, so this one here is the municipal alcohol policy, and this is the
Yeah.
update that she's recommending for the municipal alcohol policy. This one is municipal alcohol policy special occasion permits for the facility agreement.
So she's kind of included,
I think so,
we've
maybe
never
not.
had a policy on
Yeah.
special occasion permits.
Probably not the whole thing, maybe.
Ballot.
Yeah. I think it's reason like, again, they were so old,
Mhm.
it was hard to take a lot of it to put into the new. Because of the information not being kept anymore because it's so old. So it's to update it all to the current, to everything new.
And so it'll be just the one policy now, which will have the special occasion permits also included,
I
facility
believe so, but I
agreements.
can certainly ask her that question to make sure for you.
Okay.
She did also say if you had any questions, you're welcome to email her or call her and ask her any questions about it also too. I will double check that.
Yeah, she said these make bunch of pages, that's made change.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think she, from what I recall her saying the last time was that she was gonna show the sheet with the changes, but then she was gonna combine them,
Yeah, to.
right, to
Yeah.
one policy and show it too, and I think that's what she did. Just looks very different, but the info is the same.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, please, visit with, Sarah or, Victoria.
And then, yeah, if everything's okay, then I'd say that she's planning on for like an original one, but next meeting we passed.
All right, we don't have no business, right, in your minutes, petition correspondence, we have a letter, the OPP detachment from, which was tabled on February 24th, so we have to have a motion. That we're gonna defeat it, I guess, because our motion is on, going to carry it over, get more information from.
Resolution 2026 number 2026-048, be it resolved that the council of the corporation of the town of Moosonee supports town of Smooth Rock Falls weighted assessment model for OPP detachment.
Can I have a mover, please? Thank you. For discussion again, we had this, discussion last time, we have tabled it, but we have to do something very quick. So, let's start out with, Councillor Hunter.
Okay, so I need to understand what exactly, because I know we share the costs. And what are those costs from exactly? And so it has to do with the OPP, right?
It's on the population,
It's based on our population.
yes, that's what I am.
And they want us to, well, in this letter, it says they're asking, if, they can meet with the CAOs together to discuss all of this.
Victoria did meet with them.
She did?
I think she did, it's not.
No, sorry,
I think that's what they're asking to happen.
you're correct, because I
Yeah.
just saw emails today that just came out and somebody asked that same question. And they have forwarded to the CAO in Crawford to reach out to all the rest of the CAOs to set up a meeting.
Okay.
That just came today.
Because, I think we do have to start really going to discuss it with them.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was a little bit confused about why we were even considering it, because it didn't really make sense. It didn't work in our benefit. It works in the benefit of the largest community. Which, I mean, what they're asking, right?
No, actually,
No?
talking.
Opposite? Okay, there we go.
Opposite.
So it's a little confusing to me about why we're even considering it.
I think when it came to us before, there was a set amount that we were paying,
Mhm.
right, each year annually. But then they wanted, I think it was Smooth Rock that wanted to go to a different formula that it could fluctuate or change depending on. Maybe it was going to the population, I don't know, but there was some fluctuation in there. And I think that's where we were struggling, is to say like, no, should we just leave it alone and just keep paying whatever that amount was because it was seemed reasonable? Or open up this can of worms where we could be paying more.
We had asked, our CEO to get more information.
Yeah.
On it, and they were also going to be. Because talking a lot higher population than we do, we have a little bit higher than Smooth Rock, but not much. So I think Smooth Rock wants to get a lower pay. Fabian?
I would like to see what their costing model analysis would look like.
Okay, because this resolution is saying, be resolved, the council corporation, the town of Moosonee supports the town of Smooth Rock Falls weighted assessment model for OPP detachment model. So
How does that work when the information you receive after that changes? And
Well,
it
that-
changes your,
when we table it, or we have to either move it, or we have to defeat it, we table it till the 24th.
okay,
Today,
and then if you defeat it,
when we defeat it, it's defeated, and when you get more information. Yeah.
you can bring it back again? Okay, that's right. Because I mean, if they have a meeting, right, and then they decide there's something that works in the favor of everybody, it's fair and all of that, then you can bring it back again.
This one mainly is that the motion on the table, that's table. And we have to either move it or defeat it. That's basically what this motion's from. Is that right, Shelley, with that?
Yes, as far as I can see.
Yeah, but once you put a motion on the floor, it has to be dealt with one way or another.
Yeah, you have to
And we
either
have the information.
table it or defeat it, and then yeah, you can come back if you defeat it, as long as you got new information. to go with it.
Okay.
Are there any other questions, Diane?
No, no question.
Any other questions? All in favor? That's great. Oh, sorry.
So I'm like, in favor of what?
Yeah,
Sorry.
all
Of
against.
defeating it.
Yeah, all against.
All in favor of defeating it.
Yeah.
All against.
There we go.
Motion been defeated.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking and voting at the same time, so. Confusing. Thank you. Right, and now we go to the Waha letter from Jen. And I'm the team. We've all had a chance to look it over. We're not making a decision tonight. Right now, we're going to go into closed session with it. We have legal closed session with us. If you guys have any questions. Closed session. Do you have anything you want to deal with in closed session?
I think so.
You've all read it, I hope, and seen it. All right, so we will deal with it in the closed session. Again, we all understand that this is very important time-wise to get items moving or lifted, or, you know what I mean, and we're all familiar with that. So we will deal with that in the closed session.
And this is for the design, right? Okay, that's it. Not to all of them. And I understand it's time sensitive.
I think you all are pretty well up to date on everything now, like the. I think you might have some questions for the year, and we'll get back to. Right? We'll think them. Maybe, saving help, Susan?
No.
Again, this came in very late, for us, and we're always trying to push things forward, so we'll move forward on this one, but Diane?
No, not a
With that, we will go down to motions of none, reading bylaws, new business, council appointment, closed session. Now, this is the fun.
You're very much. Thank you.
I'll be dealing with this tonight.
Says.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution 2026-049. We're going from the item.
Yes.
We resolve that this meeting will come at 7:30 p.m. Okay, for the purpose of discussing personal matters by identifiable individuals, including municipal employees, advice that is subject to solicitor, client, privilege, including communication necessary for the purpose for that purpose. Can I have a move? Fabian, Susan, give me a second. Okay, all in favor of moving the camera? Both camera.
So we don't know if that's the case, but yeah, those. Thank you though for doing.
Sound like that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you want to read this?
Just a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just go ahead. All that.
You can do that one and then you can do the other one that they mentioned right
Yeah.
after.
Okay. The minutes, resolution 2026 number 2026-051. Be it resolved that the council of the corporation of the town of Moosonee adopt the minutes of the closed session number 2, 2026 of February 10, 2026 is presented / amended.
Member move it, please. Second, Jamie.
Is that for out of camera? I mean,
It's for last time.
For last meeting,
Oh, yeah.
the
Yeah.
full second meeting.
Or at the back of those.
The ones you were just gonna sign.
oh, yes,
For
okay.
those.
All right, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor? Those carried.
Later, you get to talk without realizing you're the answer
Hey, everybody's doing full second, you forget, when you get back to you.
Oh, yes, yeah, your closed session stuff, yeah. And you also need to do the motion that Susan has written down.
Letter of intent.
Yeah.
Now read it officially, yeah, with the number and everything.
Okay. Resolution 2026 number 2026-052. Be it resolved that the council of the corporation of the town of Moosonee does not accept the letter of intent from WAHA directing our lawyer to contact WAHA lawyers with council's decision regarding the waterspread development project.
So you say council's directing
Yeah.
our lawyer?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Mhm.
Okay. You want to say we? We, yeah, the we in there. Okay.
Directing our lawyers. So
Okay.
is that okay?
Yeah.
Can I have a mover? Susan. Seconder. And. No further discussion? All in favor? Both carried. Adjournment? Okay, like this one. 2026-053. Be it resolved that this meeting is adjourned at 9:27. We have a movement. Susan. Seconder.
Just the these here. This is the.
Any discussion on adjourning? No, all in favor? Both carried.
Yeah, just leave it there and
Okay.
then,
think I didn't mix it up.
did you?
Thank you.
What I did to the. Sorry?
I think it's okay, we can stop, we can look through it. Amazing.
Yeah,
We're not looking at anything then. That's what they go.
Closed session is back.
Yes, yeah, should.